Isn't there's Brazil. Is it Brazil that has French?
No.
It's somewhere in South America. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe French Guyana?
I swear there's a French-speaking nation in South America.
I think it might be French Guyana.
You're probably right, but I feel like it's a more well-known country.
You might be thinking of Brazil, where the national language is Portuguese.
Hey, the French Overseas Department of French Guyana.
Do they now?
Official language.
Interesting. Interesting that would be the country. It's the Ryan and Heather show.
No!
Yeah. Making sure we're hydrated.
Sure, hydrated. That's what I'm doing. It's coffee.
Are you drinking alcohol? Okay.
I realized people's minds might go there.
I have found that I actually can't, because I like to take cream in my coffee and then it coats my throat, so it disturbs my vocal cords for the recording. So I can't drink coffee while I'm recording.
So. How now, brown cow?
All right.
We were both in choir.
I'm sorry, what now?
I said we were both in choir.
We were indeed. Laughing is contagious and it's advantageous.
And I am not a good singer.
Me neither. I think they learned last episode when we tried to do a round that neither of us are very good at singing.
Yes.
I was better when I was younger, but 20, 30 years of not singing at all, you lose it.
I say it's Mom's fault why I'm not a good singer. She killed my confidence one time. When I told her I was in choir, and then she said, "Ooh, are you going to sing solo?" And I said, "No." And she's like, "Solo, nobody can hear you."
That's terrible parenting.
Damn it, mother.
But it's hilarious.
Ruined my vocal career, woman.
Well, you know what? I had a similar thing with her, but the difference is, so we were in the student services office, right? And I had to pick my extracurricular activities.
Uh-huh.
And it was Kim, right? Remember Kim?
Oh, I remember Kim.
So I had picked computers because Dad, and she had assigned me physical education because you had to. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't figure out what was the other one I wanted to do. And she said, "Well, what about choir?" And I was there with Mom, and we both looked at each other and kind of Mom was like, "Well, she can't really sing." In fairness, I was not offended because I couldn't really sing.
Right.
So, and I had already tried out for choir at our other school and bombed out. They were like, no, don't come back.
In
they
South
did
Africa?
not want me. Yeah, they did not want me.
You got rejected as a 6-year-old?
As a 6-year-old, she said to me, why don't you sing along? I'm going to play Jingle Bells. You sing Jingle Bells with me. So I sang Jingle Bells with her, and she just had this scowl on her face the whole time, and then said, "Okay, let's do it again." And she started to play, and I'm like, "Jingle bells, jingle." No. She just cut me off. She's like, "You can't join."
Kim did that to you?
No, that was the South African lady. What happened was, Kim said, "What about choir?" Mom said, "She can't really sing." And then Kim said, "Doesn't matter," checked it off the list, threw the paper at us, and shooed us out of her office. And I was in choir for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
So
that's about how Kim is.
You know what? Yeah. She was just like, "I'm sick of these people. Doesn't matter. You're in choir." And I tell you what, shout out Craig, best choir director ever, because he took somebody who couldn't sing, and I actually can hit some notes now, and I think that's an accomplishment. Anyway, as I was saying earlier, this is the Heather and Ryan show.
Yes.
10 minutes later.
Yeah!
Where all we're trying to do is put you in a better mood by the end of the episode than you're in right now.
Welcome to our bubble. Welcome to our bubble.
I don't want to make a big deal out of it. You did fine. We're just going to pretend like this has never been an issue. I'd like to start out with some notes, Ryan.
Okay.
First of all, my apologies. I sounded like I was underwater for the entire last episode because I did not properly check the microphone. And so it recorded not into the microphone, but into the computer's not as good microphone. I was super annoyed when I found that out. But we did our checklist, didn't we, Ryan? So
we did, yes. We did our checklist today. Everything should be perfect.
If I sound like I'm underwater again, I'm going to be so pissed off. Okay, and just a really quick update. I don't want to make a big deal out of it. I don't want to beat a dead horse. But I was listening to another podcast this week. The host is Canadian.
Ooh.
From Saskatchewan.
Ooh.
And she said, and I quote, grocery. I forget the rest of the sentence.
I forget the rest of the sentence. When did that become a thing? Honestly.
I don't know. I don't know. Honestly. All right, that's all we'll do on that. We got to play the game, which is the second round and probably final round of Trivial Pursuit, the 1984 Genius Edition. Ryan, we did better than I thought we were going to do last week.
Did we? I don't remember. It's been so long.
I think we both got a couple right, and I want to say I was expecting us to get 0 at all.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Anyways, for anyone that's not familiar, it is trivia. So if we get it right, we get a point. If we get it wrong, we don't get a point. By the end, whoever has the most points wins the ever-coveted Gloating Rights Trophy.
Until we play again.
Excellent. I have put a link. What?
Nailed it.
Oh, yeah, I'm patting you on the back over here. A link to Trivial Pursuit website is in the description of this episode. They are not a sponsor. I cannot remember the running score, but I do know that Ryan did win the last round.
Did I?
You did.
Okay, I'll take it.
So, Ryan, if you win this round, you win the game.
Awesome.
If I win this round by 2 or more points, I win the game.
Okay.
But if we tie it up, so let's say it's like 4 Ryan, 3 Heather, because I believe you had a point on me. You were 1 point ahead of me.
Okay.
And, all right, Ryan, because you're ahead, you get to pick the category. Would you like geography, entertainment, history, art and literature, science and nature, or sports and leisure?
I'm going to go with geography.
Excellent. The question is, what is the official currency of Puerto Rico in 1984? I should probably preface. I think I know the answer to this.
I mean, my knee-jerk reaction is to say pesos. But I don't feel like that's right. Dominican Republic. What would they have?
No, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, not Dominican Republic.
In 1980? When did they become part of the United States?
I don't know.
Why did I think Dominican Republic? That's weird.
Because it's also an island? I don't know. That's all I can think of.
I don't know. I should not have picked geography. Should not have done this.
What is that clicking sound?
I'm going to say U.S. dollars, Heather. Final answer.
Excellent. I also think that's what it is.
Okay.
Are you clicking on a pen constantly over there? Can you stop? Thank you so much.
I'm so sorry, Heather. Very sorry.
The answer is the U.S. dollar. We nailed it.
Yes. That's not really a geography question, is it?
It is not.
Okay.
I feel like that's more of an economics question.
Thank you.
Isn't it? Yeah. Except they don't have that as a
I asked
category.
for geography and got roped into economics. How dare you, Trivial Pursuit?
And you got it right. High five.
Yeah.
Long distance high five.
I should put a point down for myself. There we go. Okay.
I also got that right, so you must also put a point for me.
Oh. I didn't realize we were both. I thought we were taking turns. Copy that.
No.
Okay.
Fucking turns. Forget it. All right, you know what, Ryan? We're just going to do entertainment. I'll go down the list in order.
Okay.
We'll do entertainment next.
But you've already seen the answers.
No, I put that card away and I picked up a new card. What spaced-out TV and movie luminary received star number 1762 on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in May 1983?
Fran, whatever her last name is.
Drescher?
Sure.
In 1983? No. Spaced
I
Out
was born
is,
in 1983, Heath. I don't know who was famous then.
and I don't know who got what star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
How did they describe this person? Airheaded?
Spaced Out.
Spaced out.
You know what?
Did they not? They didn't give a gender, did they? Spaced out.
No. The spaced out makes me think of like Star Trek or Star Wars or some kind of outer space thing.
George Lucas. George Lucas. Final answer.
Okay, I'm going to go Harrison Ford.
Okay.
Here we go. Motherfucker, William Shatner. I had thought of him.
It was William Shatner that got the star on the Hall of Fame. Walk of Fame.
1762. Star date.
Oh, wait, what was the date on that? What?
May 1983.
May 1983. William Shatner.
Ryan, we are now going on to the category of history. What was the first state to enact a no-fault divorce law on July 6th, 1970? I have a guess.
50 states to choose from.
There are.
California.
That is also what I think it is. I'm going to go California. The answer is California.
California. Oh, fudge. One for me and one for you.
Now, Ryan, we move on to our art and literature category.
Mm-hmm.
What country presented a volume of photographs titled Between Friends, Entre Amis, to the U.S. for its bicentenary?
France.
I'm also going to guess France. It could be Belgium.
Or Canada.
It could be
possibly.
Canada.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to lean with France.
Isn't there's Brazil. Is it Brazil that has French? Is like.
No.
It's somewhere in South America. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe French Guyana?
I swear there's a French-speaking nation in South America.
I think it might be French Guyana.
You're probably right, but I feel like it's a more well-known country.
You might be thinking of Brazil, where the national language is Portuguese.
Hey, the French Overseas Department of French Guyana.
Do they now?
Their official language.
Interesting. Interesting that would be the country that you found in the Google answer to there. Well, Ryan, I tell you what, the answer is Canada.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I feel like we didn't get a point on that one.
That's all right. That's okay. We did say it could be Canada, but we went with the safe bet. That's what happened.
We did. All right, science and nature. How many zeros are there in a trillion? All we have to do is count them.
Can I write it out? I'm not going to write it out. That's
there
cheating.
Are 12.
Okay, I'm not going to write it out. Hold on.
Look, Brian, look, if you're going to count on your fingers, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, that's 4 times 3, 4 times 3, which is 12. How many zeros are there in a trillion?
That's in billions. 1 billion has 12, so then trillion would have 15.
Okay, so you're going 15?
No, because you got
Final
me
answer?
saying Did you write it out?
I did not write it out.
Okay, all right. Okay. Hold on. Give me a second, all right? Answer coming up. Okay. 1,000.
As he counts them individually on his fingers.
100,000. And then 3 more. That's 1 million. So, wait. Oh, I'm so fucked up right now. I am so fucked up. I'm going to go with 12. 12, final answer.
Okay, the answer is 12, and you get half a point, and I get a whole point for that answer.
Okay. There we go. I'm half a point ahead of you, Heather.
I know you are. Ryan, we are now going to do the sports and leisure, our best category to date. Nancy Kerrigan disagrees. Here we go. That was a joke about our last episode. Did you get my joke?
I didn't. I've already forgotten the last episode. I don't remember
Because
anything.
in the last episode, I asked you. The question was something about what male skier won some award, and you were like Nancy Kerrigan, and it's the 1984. Like Nancy Kerrigan was like a baby, probably. She was not an Olympian in 1984, I don't think, and she's a woman, and she's not a skier. It was ridiculous. Okay, here we go. Here's the question. Ooh, what form of fencing offers the smallest target area?
Small target fencing.
I'm just going to say folie à deux, because why not? They have all those fancy French words in fencing. The answer is the foil. I could have gotten there if I'd thought about it a little.
I would not have. Would not have gotten there at all.
Ryan, we're going to start
I
from
probably would have
geography
yelled Nancy
again.
Kerrigan. Continue.
You know what? Let's that be our go-to answer when we don't know the answer.
Okay.
Nancy Kerrigan. All right. Geography.
All right.
How many hours is the time difference between New York City and Peking in December? Is Peking called something else now?
Well, that's in China.
Yes.
And the UK is 8 hours ahead of me. So there's probably like 5 time zones.
It's Beijing. That's what it's called now.
I'm going to say 10 hours.
You know what? I'm going to say 12 hours.
Okay.
The answer is 13 hours.
Dang.
So close. Entertainment.
Heather, you were this close to getting ahead.
I was, but I blew it. What Hollywood dog died in the arms of Jean Harlow in 1932?
Lassie.
Dang it, I always hold back my answers hoping that you won't think of them as well. I want to say Lassie, but maybe it's not Lassie. Maybe it's Old Yeller. Maybe it's that dog from where the red fern grows. I'm just going to say Lassie, too, because that's all I can think of. The answer, Ryan, Rin Tin Tin.
Of course it is.
Yes.
We could have gotten there if we thought about it.
But that's not what we're doing here. Let's go on to the next category. Okay, history. What saloon-smashing prohibitionist died in a padded cell in a Kansas hospital on June 9th, 1911? I know this, and it's gonna come to me. Wyatt Earp. No. Frank. Somebody Frank. Frank.
I was trying to, like, Frank
Zappa.
Frank Zappa. I knew there was a Z in there somewhere. That's my guess. I was thinking Frank. I was thinking Frank right when you said Frank, and I was like, I think we're onto something here. Frank Zappa.
Okay, we're going to go Frank Zappa. I think we're wrong.
And then she goes, Jimmy Hoffa. Even though that's not how he died. But
Carrie Nation.
Never heard of him. Her.
I think that's a her.
Yeah,
and
I think
she was... I vaguely remember. And I'm pretty sure Frank Zappa is a musician from the 60s.
Oh, she was a prohibitionist, Hev.
Yes. What did I say?
We said Frank Zappa. We guessed gangsters.
Frank Zappa is not even...
Anti-prohibitionists.
Frank Zappa...
I think he was a singer, wasn't he?
Is a singer. Yeah, there he is. His band was
from
called...
the right era, is he?
Nope, he's from like the 60s and 70s. I knew we were wrong the minute we said it. Who am I thinking of? Wait, prohibition figures, because I know there's a word I'm thinking of. There's a name I'm thinking of, and I'm gonna not be happy until. Notable names. Al Capone. That's the name I was trying to find.
Yeah, except didn't Al Capone go to Alcatraz?
Yeah, he definitely didn't die as said, but that's the prohibition guy. I was like, what's the dang prohibition gangster's name? Ryan,
yes.
Let's do art and literature.
Okay.
What Australian press baron bought the New York Post?
The Melbourne Post.
Press baron, Ryan.
I don't fucking know what that means.
Well, a baron is like somebody who's like, you know, the rich barons.
Oh, baron. Got it. Nancy Kerrigan.
I have no idea what the answer is. So, Rupert Murdoch.
So close.
That name does sound familiar. All right, Ryan, what's the score?
Currently, Heather, 6. Ryan, 6.5.
Okay, whoever gets this next one right. Okay, we're going to have to do this. We're going to have to go back and forth in a sudden death.
Okay.
Okay. We will each have a chance to answer one question.
Okay.
You may pick the category of your preference.
Okay.
If we both get it wrong, you win.
Okay.
If you get it right, you win. If I get it right and you get it wrong, I win. So
but
the
if we
odds are
both
in
get
your
it right,
favor.
I still win.
You do. That's correct.
Okay.
All right. Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
What category would you like? Geography, entertainment, history, art and literature, science and nature, sports, and leisure.
Science and nature.
All right. The question. What took first prize in Omni Magazine's contest to find the ultimate unanswerable question?
Well, the ultimate unanswerable question,
Yes,
I feel
so
like, is what is the meaning of life?
I would think that, but the answer is surprising, and I don't think you're going to get there, but I'm very curious.
It's what took first place.
Yes.
So it's
in
a thing.
Omni Magazine's contest to find the ultimate unanswerable question. In other words, what's the ultimate unanswerable question as determined by the Omni contest?
Oh. How big is the universe?
Final answer?
Final answer.
Ryan, the question was, why can't you tickle yourself?
All right.
They did not go very deep on that one.
No, they did not.
Apparently, no. They were like, wind, where does it come from? Where is it going? Which is, I stole that from a friend of mine was telling me about his friend that was on a drug trip, and he was super high, and the wind was blowing on them, and he was like, dude, wind. Like, where does it come from?
Wind, man.
Where's it going? Where's it going?
It just goes where it wants to, man.
Okay, you know what? I think I'm going to go history for my category.
Okay. Good luck,
my
Heather.
Question.
It's going to be the easiest question in the world.
What British queen died during William McKinley's term of office as president? And I do believe the answer is Queen Victoria. Did you know that? Do you think it's Queen Victoria? What do you think?
Yes, I think you're correct, Heather.
The answer is Victoria. Suck it! I win!
Only other queen I know of that's not
Queen Elizabeth II?
Yes.
Well, there's Queen Mary of Scots. There's Queen Elizabeth I. There's...
I didn't even know Queen
another
Elizabeth
Mary.
was
There was another
the second,
Mary in there.
To be totally honest with you, Heath.
You didn't?
Nope.
What do we have now? We have King Charles.
Heather,
He's definitely
I'm
not
an
the
American.
first.
I don't pay attention to other countries and their histories. Okay?
But you should, because European history is basically American history. Like, I get why they don't care about our history. I get it. But, like, we should wonder. I think we should care.
That's
but
true.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot there.
It's okay. I already feel like an idiot. This whole episode, I just left, right, and center. Ryan just making an ass out of himself.
And I could not ask for more. So thank you. Ryan, this episode that we are recording now is going to come out on the second Saturday of October.
Okay.
So since it's spooky month, Halloween time, the Reddit stories are going to be what's like the creepiest thing that ever happened to you, not necessarily Halloween related. And I've got some good ones here. Let me read these to you. At first, I had asked for stories like, what's your favorite Halloween moment? And I was like, oh, these are so heartwarming. Boring. So here we have some real creepy stuff. From Infinite Scapegoat. Last year I was dog sitting for my parents while they were on holiday. They live in a very rural countryside village in an old barn conversion, and I hate staying there by myself. So about 10 days into house sitting, I woke up at 4 a.m. and could hear something downstairs. Thinking I had somehow gone to bed and left the TV on, I went down to the lounge, but the TV was off. Very confused at this point, I wandered into the hall looking for the source of the sound. Both the dogs were sat very alertly outside the office door. Then I saw that light was coming from behind the office door. I have absolutely no explanation for what happened that night. The computer in the office is my brother's, and he had been sailing in Europe for 2 months at this point, and his computer was always password protected. However, on this night, the computer was on, unlocked, and the noise I could hear was a YouTube video about Soviet experiments of dog head transplants.
You know what it was?
The dogs.
His brother remotely accessed his computer, knowing that his brother was house sitting in an empty home, and fucked with him.
Yeah, or those dogs escaped from the Soviet Union.
Sure.
That's my number 2 theory.
Okay.
And they were like, I want to check up on this. From It Is, It Was. I was working as a bartender at a hotel that a flight attendant was murdered in room 354 about a year before the incident. Anyhow, wait, that sentence makes no sense. A flight attendant had been murdered in room 354 about a year ago before this story starts. Okay.
Or he was working there a year before she was murdered.
No, I don't think so, because as we'll read, it'll make more sense that that happened before this point in time. Okay. Anyhow, it was close to closing time when the manager, a very small woman, comes into the bar and tells me she needs my help. It seems the fire panel is showing an alarm in room 354, which had been somewhat cleaned and left vacant since the murder. So the two of us go up the elevator and start heading down the long I-shaped corridor. It was capital I-shaped corridor. It's just a hallway. Okay, anyways. As we round the corner, we can see papers had been shoved under the door from inside the room with "Help Me" written on them. So the manager puts her master key in the lock and opens the door to pitch black in the room, and we hear, "Thank God you have finally come." We both instinctively jump back and then see one of our maintenance workers stroll out the door. It seems maintenance had been using the room for storage, and once he went inside the door, the knob was broken off on the inside. There were no lights or phone in the room, so he held his lighter up to the fire alarm.
Genius.
That's hilarious. That's really smart. He got himself out of there and also creeped everyone the hell out while doing it. Kudos. From PDX Ryan 07. Is that you? Be honest.
It's me.
When I was a senior in high school, a bunch of my friends and I used to drive into the hills to drink and get away from our parents.
Definitely not me.
I was the designated driver one night and drove back 4 of my friends. 2 of the girls were really drunk and started puking. So we pulled over in a park. Both of the girls started puking outside my car doors, and then this pickup rolled up behind us and had its high beams on us. I thought it was the cops and was just waiting for them to bust us, but the person in the car just stayed there. Eventually, we closed the doors and drove away. The pickup followed us. I started driving faster and through a neighborhood I knew really well, taking every turn and starting to speed up. But the pickup kept following us. I need to breathe. I get so out of breath. Excuse me. On we go. Eventually, my friends needed to puke again, and we pulled over. The pickup stopped behind us again and just kept its lights on us. I looked through my rearview mirror and saw an older white guy with a beard, which I question this part of the story because it's really hard to see into somebody's windows when they've got their brights shining on you.
Right.
So I don't know about that.
Unless he had his cab lights on, in which case...
he's not very good at being creepy then.
No.
Like he's like, here's what I look like.
Or there's some other light source that just happened to be shining in.
Okay, fair enough. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
He started reaching for something in his glove compartment. At that point, I freaked out, told my friends to pull my other friend into the car, and floored it. We took a couple of turns and lost the guy. We stayed in a driveway of a random person for like 15 minutes and then decided it was safe. We turned back onto the main street, and the pickup truck was waiting for us. I drove as fast as I could down the main street, and the pickup kept following us. Eventually, at the bottom of a hill, there was a massive accident and a bunch of police cars and fire trucks. I started to slow down like I was going to pull over toward the police. The pickup overtook us, ran a red light in front of the cops, and I never saw him again. I have no idea who that guy was or what he wanted, but it was terrifying. And I think, Ryan, we can assume that he had a nefarious intention.
Maybe.
Because,
or he was just a weird person.
But why would he floor it as soon as the cops showed up, violating an obvious traffic law while he did and drawing a bunch of attention to himself?
That is true, too. That is true. I was waiting for it to be, and then I saw the same pickup truck in a huge metal heap that had been crushed by a semi-truck, and the dude with the beard was laying on the ground dead, and suddenly the pickup truck behind us vanished. That's where I thought that story was going.
You know what? I'll edit out the earlier story, and we'll go with that.
I would say that reminds me of a story.
Oh, yeah.
A creepy driving story. It was when I was 18 and I first got my license. And so I was driving through the little town that we were, lived on the outskirts of. It's like the lumber mills. It's this long stretch of road, right? And then it gets real dark because there's no street lights. And then there's this bend and it goes down, not quite as far as, the first leg there. And it's still super dark. And then you get to a gate. So late at night, you would have to get out and unlock it to be able to get in. But anyway, so I was driving home and there was this truck ahead of me. And it was going like 5 under the speed limit, right? So I'm like, I'm going to put my passing skills to the use. And I floor it. I pass this person. It was like in a passing zone on that street, right?
Okay.
This truck, like in the distance, like it started picking up speed after I passed it, right? And suddenly, like my heart's racing. Like, fuck, I just pissed this person off. They're definitely going to kill me. So I floor it down this long stretch. Blow through the stop sign on the railroad tracks. I take that corner as fast as I can. I pull up to the gate.
That 90-degree turn. Yes, go on.
As fast as I could. I just fucking screaming around it, right? And I get to the gate, and it's like, I want to say it's like midnight, right? It's late, so I'm like sitting there. I'm panicked. I'm trying to get this freaking tumbler lock unlocked, and I'm fumbling with the lock, and I just can't get the code. And I'm like sitting there watching them come down that long stretch, right? And I'm like, oh shit, they're catching up. I'm trying to do it. And then they turn the corner. I'm like, fuck, come on, Ryan, come on, you can do this. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, fuck it. And I just jump over the gate, and I run around the corner. It's like the real dense woody area right there. And I just hid, and I watched them rolling up, and they pull right up behind my car, and they just sit there and they wait. And I'm like, I don't see who's in the truck, right? It's pitch black. And I'm like staring and waiting, and they're not doing anything, And so finally I'm like, okay, maybe they're not trying to kill me. So I kind of sheepishly come walking around the corner and like climb over the gate, and I'm just like sitting there staring at them. And the door opens. I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. I'm dead. And the guy's like, are you going to unlock the gate? We're trying to get in there to farm. Because, rents out all the farming,
that's right. Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, sorry, I had to pee real bad. So I just hopped over there. Sorry, guys. Let me get this unlocked for you.
I wonder why they get there and they're just like 10 minutes like, where did the driver go? Because there's nowhere to go. It doesn't make any sense for somebody to disappear from that spot.
But when you think you're going to get murdered, Heather.
I never once thought. I did find it creepy at night to get out and unlock that gate. Like, I'd always feel creeped out.
Especially when you hear the freaking ghost story of like people driving down the hill and like, apparitions appearing in their back seat. Yeah, it's real freaking creepy driving up that hill at night.
Didn't anybody ever tell you about the story of the gatekeeper?
No.
Yeah, there's a gatekeeper that a lot of the early people, when they were establishing the school, had these encounters with, like, literally a monk that had used to be the keeper of the gate.
Huh.
This could just be a exaggerated legend.
Could be.
But then every time I get down there after hearing that story, I'd be like, it's the gatekeeper. Just go fast. Just go fast.
To be fair, that area on the hill is real creepy to get outside of.
Yeah.
Especially at nighttime. I mean, during the day, it's not bad at all. But yeah, night,
No.
like, because you can't see over the fields. You can't see behind you. There's no light. It's pitch black. There's, like, dense forest right next to you on one side. Like, a cougar could come out of there, Heather, and just rip your face off.
Yeah, it could. It really could. Fun times growing up in the forest, folks. All right, Ryan, I've got another story from Suitology. Told this story of my parents' old house when I was living with them before college. I live in a small cul-de-sac in the middle of nowhere. The next nearest neighborhood is over 4 miles away. One night a few years ago, we got over 1.5 feet of snow overnight. So far from the main roads, and on the weekend, I knew our roads would remain unplowed for quite some time. I went to my outback deck door to take some pictures when I noticed footprints leading to my door and then turning around and leaving. I looked and saw that they came from my neighbor's side and thought that one of their more delinquent kids played a joke. I went on Facebook, and after scrolling for a bit, I noticed one of my neighbors closer to the entrance posted, "Did someone knock for me or something at my back door?" I immediately called her, talked, and told her I have an idea. I called the first house on the entrance and told him what was going on. He went and checked, and sure enough, they were there too. Everyone started calling everyone else. My next-door neighbor called the woman that lives next to the end house. She said it was that there were footprints that led to her door, but none that led away. We called the police. They told us the roads are still unplowed and they can't send a plow truck as they are a privately owned company. The woman was losing it, so one of the husbands, huge bear of a man, texted her to say he was coming over. He came and she left. We put up one guy's live feed motion recording cameras facing all exits. Nothing came out. Around 7 p.m., a plow truck came as well as 3 cop cars. The couple she was staying with and her went to her house and stood in the doorway as the police searched. They found nothing. She begged them to keep looking, so they did. 2 of the cops went into the basement again. This time, one came up. He took her to the side room, and we could hear her hysterically crying. They told us they found someone hiding under a cover opening in the stairwell. A few minutes later, a scruffy man screaming and kicking came out in cuffs and was led away. In his little campout, they found blankets she had just cleaned and put away in the room next to hers. She stayed in other people's houses for a long time before going back. Even then, she wouldn't stay alone. She sold the house the next summer. He turned out to be a thrill-seeking junkie who was on probation for assault against a family member. He didn't want to stay at his apartment after a fight with his roommate and drove off in his roommate's car and got stuck in our unplowed roads. And that is why you always make sure you lock the doors.
Yes. And plow your roads.
Plow them. Well, it can get rough, bro. It can get rough because, yeah. As someone who lives in a snowy area in the winter, it's not always easy.
As someone who lives in an area where 1/4 inch of snow shuts everything down, I say plow your fucking roads.
How can you plow your roads when there's no plows to plow them with?
Weld one to your car.
Great idea. And that'll be our advice for this episode as we launch into the next story from Mustache Toppings. This happened about 12 years ago. My parents purchased a condo from a family friend and we moved in. The lady we bought the condo from had passed away of natural causes inside the condo. She was an older lady, friendly from what I hear. After months of living there, we had a suspicion that we weren't alone. This wasn't your typical haunted house scenario. There were no flickering lights, strange noises, or lurking shadows. It was twisty ties. Every now and then, we would find twisty ties around the house. They would seemingly appear out of thin air, strategically placed. I'd be hanging out on the couch watching TV, go to the kitchen to fetch a tasty beverage, and come back to find a stray twisty tie just chilling on the coffee table. We'd find them wrapped around cords, on countertops, in desk drawers, even one time wrapped around my toothbrush. Each one unique in the shape, color, and placement. There were 3 of us that lived there, and of course we all blamed each other, and of course none of us ever fessed up to it. Over the years, however, there were enough isolated incidents each one of us had to deny it. Had encountered. I'll say it again. Over the years, however, there were enough isolated incidents each one of us had encountered to deny it. In other words, like separately they experienced it when the others weren't there. We named her Twisty Tie Lady, and I started to collect them in my nightstand drawer just for funsies. A few years later, after moving out, I had learned that when the lady was alive, it became a little inside joke between her daughter and her to save all her twisty ties for future use. I guess that was her way of reaching out in the afterlife. I thought that was cute. All right, we have one more, Ryan, from N. Joder. This one is pretty short, and it's not near Halloween. In my hometown, there are railroad tracks that go through the middle of town, past a cemetery on the edge of town, and into the nothingness. I'm from rural Arkansas, so you can imagine what it's like. Nothing but woods and fields for miles. Well, these tracks were always talked about by the teenagers. Something about a kid getting hit by the train a long time ago. So, of course, being stupid teenagers, my friends and I decide to go to the tracks one day where the kid supposedly died. So we're doing teenager things by the tracks, like putting rocks on them, when out comes a stray cat from the woods. It was kind of weird because we were so far away from town, but whatever, we didn't think about it. It walks up to us, and of course we start petting it. A few minutes pass by, and we are all sitting on the tracks in a line, and the cat is walking from one to the other, taking in all the pets, when all of a sudden we start to feel the ground shake. We look up, and a train was less than 100 feet from us. How we didn't hear it, I don't know, but I've never been so close to death in my life. It was terrifying, and we never saw the cat again. To this day, I think that cat tried to get us killed. And I would agree. That was a murder cat. Yep.
That was a murder cat.
Which, Ryan, leads me to the free advice. Stay away from murder cats, people.
And plow your fucking roads.
And plow your roads.
Looking at you, Portland.
And may you have the least creepy possible time you've ever had until
we play again.
Excellent.
We play again.
Until we play again.